All right, welcome in everyone. We're diving deep today. Going to be talking about
Discipline? Yeah.
which is always a popular topic, right?
Always, yeah.
Everyone wants to know how to get more disciplined.
Yeah. Everyone's looking for that.
So we're looking at some excerpts from Discipline is Power, the Hidden Key to Success today.
Very interesting read.
Yeah, and we always talk about like, oh, to be successful, you got to be talented, you got to be creative.
Right. Gotta have the ideas, the inspiration.
But this text is saying that maybe that's not really
Yeah. Maybe it's not the whole picture.
a whole story. Yeah.
It's kind of like the emphasis is always on those things. Like you were saying, the talent, the intelligence, the
Yes.
creativity.
The spark, yeah.
But this text is arguing that that's only part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like anyone can have a good idea,
Right.
but it's what you do with it
Exactly. Yeah.
that really matters.
It's the follow through.
And that's where discipline comes in.
That's where discipline comes in. Yeah. So, I mean, they call it the unsung hero of success.
Yeah, they do. And I think that's really true
Why do you think they say that?
because, well, I think we've all seen it, right? You see these people who, are incredibly talented.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. They have so much potential,
Right.
but they never really achieve what they could.
Yeah. They fizzle
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of times it comes down to discipline or a lack thereof.
or lack of it. Right.
They might have the talent, but they don't have the discipline to hone it, to put in the work, to really make something of it.
Yeah. They don't have the follow through, the consistency.
Exactly.
So you're saying it's like the bridge, that discipline is the bridge between like a potential
Totally.
and like actually getting results.
I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
So it's funny because the text calls it a powerful tool.
I love that powerful tool.
Why do you think they call it a tool?
That's a good question. I think because, like any tool, it can be used to achieve something, right? It's
Yeah.
not just, a passive thing.
Right.
It's something you can actually use to build something, to create something.
To shape something. Yeah.
Yeah. And in this case, what you're shaping is your own success.
Mm-hmm. So what is it about this tool? Like what makes it so powerful?
Well, I think the text is really good at getting at the essence of what discipline is, right? And it's essentially doing what needs to be done,
Yeah.
even when you don't feel like it.
Ooh, that's the cuff one.
Yeah, that's the key, right? It's about making those tough choices, sticking to your commitments,
Right.
even when it would be easier to just give in.
Just give up.
Yeah, to just, watch Netflix or scroll through social media.
Especially these days, right?
Oh, yeah, it's so easy to get distracted.
So easy.
But discipline is about, like, resisting those temptations
Right.
and doing what you know you need to do.
It's about that long game.
Absolutely, it's about the long game.
So consistency, willpower.
Yeah, those are big parts of it.
But, we're always told like, oh, you got to find your motivation. You got to be
Yeah.
passionate. You got to,
Yeah, find your why.
find your why. So where does that fit in?
That's where this text gets really interesting, I think, because it directly contrasts discipline with motivation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it says that motivation, which we all love,
Of course.
it feels good to be motivated,
Yes.
but it's fleeting.
Oh, yeah.
It comes and goes.
So fleeting.
Now, it's based on emotions,
Yeah.
inspiration, and those things can be very fickle.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel it. Sometimes you don't.
Exactly.
Some days you wake up and you're like, ready to take on the world.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to write that novel.
Yeah.
I'm going to start that business.
I'm going to conquer everything. And then other days,
Other days, you're like, I can't even get out of bed.
you're like, I can't even find matching socks.
Right.
You're like, what's wrong with me?
And that's, I think, the point that the text is making,
Oh,
that
yeah.
discipline is that steady force
Yeah.
that keeps you moving forward, even when motivation takes a break.
Even when motivation goes on vacation.
Exactly. It's like that anchor in the storm.
I love that. The anchor in the storm.
Right. It helps you navigate those inevitable obstacles and setbacks.
So it's about showing up consistently, right?
Yeah.
Day after day, no matter how you feel.
No matter what.
No matter what. Wow. That sounds really challenging.
It is challenging. There's
Yeah.
no way around it.
No sugarcoating it.
No sugarcoating. Exactly. Building that discipline muscle, it takes effort.
Real effort.
Real effort. But that's why it's so powerful.
That's why it's so powerful. Okay, I like that.
Because, it's through those consistent, disciplined actions that you achieve true, lasting success.
Not just like the little burst.
Exactly. Not the fleeting bursts of progress
Yeah.
fueled by temporary motivation, but the kind of deep,
Beep.
meaningful accomplishments that really transform your life.
So if we want to achieve those, like big, audacious goals,
Yes.
maybe it's time to shift our focus a little bit.
Maybe so.
Instead of waiting for that, like, perfect wave of motivation,
Right, just waiting for it to hit you.
waiting for lightning to strike,
Yeah, and hoping it'll carry you through.
and hoping that it'll all just work out. Maybe we need to be a little bit more proactive.
Absolutely. Be proactive. Take charge.
Roll up our sleeves and start building that inner discipline.
Exactly. And the text, it actually offers some really practical guidance on how to do that.
Oh, does it? Okay, that's good, because I was just thinking.
Yeah, it emphasizes the importance of setting clear, specific goals.
Okay, specific goals.
Because without a clear destination in mind,
Yeah,
it's very easy to get lost along the way.
that makes sense. It's like trying to navigate without a map.
Exactly. You might be moving, but you're not necessarily getting anywhere.
Right, you're just wandering.
Going aimlessly.
And so once you have those goals,
Yes.
what do they say then?
Well then, the text suggests breaking them down into smaller, manageable steps.
Okay, so break it down.
Break it down, make it less daunting.
Less overwhelming.
Right, because if you're just looking at this huge, massive goal,
Right.
it can be paralyzing.
Yeah, you're like, I can't do that.
Exactly, but if you break it down into smaller steps,
Right.
it becomes much more achievable.
Yeah, I can actually, like, visualize it.
Right, and you can celebrate those mini victories along the way.
Ooh, the mini victories.
Which, that keeps you motivated.
Oh, that's good. So it's like building momentum almost.
Exactly. Building momentum.
Each small win fuels the next one.
Precisely. And then finally, the text talks about the importance of creating routines and habits
Ooh, routines and habits, okay?
that support your goals. So think of it like setting yourself up for success
Okay.
by automating those positive behaviors.
So instead of relying on willpower alone,
Yes.
which, let's be honest, can be very draining.
Very draining.
Yeah, you're like, I don't have the willpower for this today. So it's more about creating the systems
Creating systems, creating habits,
that make it easier
make it easier to stay on track.
so you don't even have to think about it.
Ideally, it just becomes second nature.
Yeah, it's just what you do.
Exactly.
I like that. So by incorporating these techniques, you're not just like wishing for success.
Right. You're not just hoping it'll happen.
You're actually, taking control.
Taking control, you're creating the conditions for it to thrive.
It's like, what's the word? It's like you're creating the foundation
Laying the foundation, yeah.
for a strong, resilient building.
Exactly. You're setting yourself up for success.
This has been a really interesting deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I've learned a lot.
Me too.
So if we want to unlock that, like, hidden key to success that they talk about,
Yeah, that hidden key.
maybe it's time to stop waiting for motivation to strike
Stop waiting. Start doing.
and start cultivating that inner discipline muscle
Absolutely.
and start taking action. Right?
Yes, action is key.
So that leaves our listeners with a thought, I guess,
A thought to ponder.
to ponder. Yeah. What small disciplined action
Yes.
can they take today
Today, that's the key.
to move closer to their goals?
Even a tiny step.
Even a tiny step
Taken consistently.
can lead to big results.
Exactly. That's the power of discipline.
The power of discipline. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for having me.